One of our core parents did pose a great question just this month, Alec. He was, I think, in between his first core day and his second core day. His kids are in there, their family's ready, they're pumped, they're doing all the things. And he came to us and he asked the question, how do I put limits on spending, right? Because that's like a kind of a weird feeling for a parent who's always kind of monitored their kids' spending and allowance and been part of that. And then all of a sudden it's like, here's your spending money, go for it. And it might feel a little unsettling. So when he asked that question, Alec, what came to mind for you? What did you share with him? What do you want to share with the community about that?
This dad, when he posed that question to me, the answer that I had is the same answer that's in my house and for my two girls. And it is, you really are trying to give your child leeway, and really as much leeway as possible. The limits should really be the same limits that you have in your house or your house rules. So one of mine, as an example, is glitter. I hate glitter. Anybody who's taken the courses, they know I talk about glitter, and I'm a no-go on glitter. It gets everywhere. So the kids can't buy glitter. Now, candy is one that comes up for a lot of parents, especially those elementary age kids, right? So my kids, when they were in elementary school, they would buy candy, but they can't have it for breakfast. It would go in the candy bin. We had, candy bin. If was Halloween or whatever, it all gets stored in the closet in a particular place in the pantry. And that's the candy bin. So whenever the candy bin comes out, if they want to then eat their candy that they bought, that's fine. The idea is that you really want them to go out in the world and spend on the things that they're going to spend on. Now, I'm sure you can relate, Julie, that we look at what our kids spend on, and immediately, very often, what comes into our head is, well, that is frivolous. That is just flat out stupid. I would not spend my money on that. Well, yeah, I mean, you're not 7 years old. I'm not 7 years old. This dad, he's not 7 years old, but the kids are. So, God, the list of inane, frivolous things that my kids have purchased through the years, it goes on and on and on. We were just on family vacation in Maine, and we went to an amusement park. And my daughter, who's now in ninth grade, she spent, I don't even know how much money it was. It was $20, $30, like a big amount for her on the claw, right? You walk up to the machine and you put the money in, and the mechanical claw goes, and it goes down and it grabs the stuffed animal. Well, of course, it wasn't grabbing the stuffed animal. It would grab it, pick it up, and then drop it along the way. And she was heartbroken every single time, but she just kept feeding it dollars, feeding it dollars, feeding it dollars. And first of all, she doesn't need the stuffed animal. Second of all, those things are rigged. And I kept telling her, but she kept wanting to try it. So she didn't win the stuffed animal. She wasted her money. And all the while, I just kept saying, look, it's not what I would spend my money on. I'm telling you that these are rigged. It's supposed to do that so it gets you to pay more money, and it's working. So after the fact, she then also got these tickets. It was every time she lost, it would spit out tickets. You can exchange 30 tickets for a pencil or something like that, right? So she was all ready, and she's like, okay, well, I spent $30, but I'm going to go get my pencil or my eraser or something like that. And now we're waiting online, and it's like this whole thing. And I was like, Grace, you're not doing this. You're going to have to give these to somebody. And so she gives all of her tickets to this little kid. So not only did she not even get a pencil, she literally got nothing out of it. I mean, how frivolous can you get? So half hour later, I asked her, I said, how do you feel about that? And she's like, I cannot believe I spent my money on that. That was really dumb. So I agree. I mean, I wouldn't do that. A few days later, we're in a souvenir shop, and, I bought a sweatshirt or something from Maine. I told them I would get them each one souvenir during the trip. I did. She found something else she really wanted to buy. Well, she had no more money. She had like $3 left, and it cost, $10 or $12, something like that. So what did I do? I referred back. I said, okay, well, remember all that money that you went and you spent on the claw? This is why we don't do that. So one, she experienced regret 30 minutes after. She said, I can't believe I did that. I really have nothing to show for it. And I really wasn't going to win anyway, but I got so revved up about it. So I was glad that she recognized that in herself, right? That was first of all. I don't think I would have gotten that same response had it been my money. Because it was hers, it stuck with her for the 30 minutes. But then the follow-up lesson a few days later in the souvenir shop, for her to recognize and now feel the impact again, was valuable. So just because we think it's frivolous, meaning that just because we think that item isn't worth it, they might be getting some entertainment value out of it, for one, but there also might be future lessons out of it. So it goes back to, why are we doing this? Why are we giving them allowance? Why is it a core day? Why are we, even teaching them about spending? What is the point? Is the point to make sure that every time they spend money, they're getting a lot of value out of it? Look, I know I'm not. I rented a movie the other day, and whatever, it was like $5 or something like that. I have Netflix. There's plenty on Netflix I haven't seen. I wanted to see that movie. I paid the $5, and someone would look at that and say, "Well, that's frivolous. I don't like Marvel movies." Right? What's frivolous to one person isn't frivolous to another. And for us as parents, it can be really valuable right then, a little bit after then, a few days later, a few weeks later, or I don't know about a few years later, but it can be valuable for a very long time. What we're trying to do is to get them to practice spending mindfully more than anything else. So as long as they're doing that, and as long as you are using that strategically, you just want to stay within the confines of your house rules. So they know there are parameters that they must follow, but they have a lot of leeway for them to practice. That's the key.
Totally agree. And on the candy topic, I mean, I hate candy. I think candy's the devil. And Cassidy loves candy. John likes it, but Cassidy is like a fiend for candy. But I think, in her process, she's really learned the value of a dollar, and that if she has X amount of dollars to spend in a month's time, she's going to want to spend that on clothes and accessories. She knows what it feels like to waste it on stupid candy. She's done it enough times. Had I not let her do that and like take that money to Rite Aid and just waste it on candy, she wouldn't have come to that on her own, like you're always talking about, that they need to come to it on their own. So now she'll say, "Mom, will you buy me a Starbucks? Mom, will you buy me a boba, a bag of candy, whatever?" And I say, "No, absolutely not. That's not something that's important to me. You can spend your money." And she always says, "No, I'm going to save my money." So letting them make a few mistakes and feel that pain and regret is kind of what you're going for a little bit, I think, in this
Exactly.
process when they're
Exactly.
young.
And isn't that amazing? Because you know that if it wasn't their money, right? If it wasn't Cassidy's money, and you said that she would, might stomp her foot or give you a look or roll her eyes or ask, 100 times. But how much shorter is that conversation now than it used to be?
Yeah. Yeah. And she goes, "Oh, okay, fine," but she gets it. She's not going to
Yeah.
argue. She's going to put her foot down and then walk away and know the reason.